Okay, so my cover is good and dry now. And I've got some pieces I kind of want to share with you that I thought I would add in. I do have to go ahead and get these glued in there. And I did use some bookbinding tape to reinforce. The spine was kind of exposed right there a little bit just from the edge of the book. So I did add a little bookbinding tape. It's just some bookbinding tape I got off Amazon. Very, very sticky and sturdy. So I need to get these kind of put in there and glued in. I do have my front ones and my back ones to get in. I've got them cut to size, so I'm going to go ahead and get those stuck in. But I wanted to share with you a few things that I thought that I would put in the bullet journal. And what I found was, now I did find this at Target. This is just $1, and I thought it would be fun if someone wanted to use a calendar that's small and it not be a printable, because that would be very small and would work really good in that on a journal page. You know, you could just kind of cut it down a little bit. So that's one idea. It's just a little desk calendar, but you could just cut the months off there and use that. So that was a fun idea. That was just $1. And then I did find this. Now I did tear the packaging off of this, and so I'm not sure. It was either $1 to $3, but I think it was just $1. And I actually had coffee stained a few sheets of this, and I've cut even a part, and I didn't want to use the daily organizer part. But I thought it would be fun to use the priorities right here, kind of would be a fun thing. And I've got some goals today, looking ahead, and word of the day, date. But anyway, I did cut some of those apart because I thought, well, I may want to use. I didn't use the date. I didn't keep the date part, I don't think. But I just wanted to use, you know, maybe not goals today, but goals for the month. So that was fun, and I did cut that apart. Thought that would be kind of fun to use. But there's a couple of things. Now these, like I said, were just on the Target spot, you know, that little dollar spot thing there. That's where I found those. So that's just kind of some fun finds. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get my cover stuck on, and what I have done is I'm going to get these pages stuck down real quick. And what I have done was I went ahead and I tore some pages out. Now, I didn't want to glue these two together because of this page turning a little easier. So I've got a plan, I think, for this here, to kind of have some, you can kind of see the cheesecloth and stuff that they used, or whatever that is they used to do those bindings in. So I've got a plan for that, and I have went ahead and tore a few pages out, and I've glued two together. And then I tore a few more pages out, and I glued these two together. Now I've just been tearing about 4 to maybe 5 pages out at a time, and so I may end up tearing more. I'll just have to kind of see. But for now, I mean, I've got the two ready now that I need to start January's page, journal page, planning page. And so I may end up having to go ahead and tear out another, you know, few pages there. I may go ahead and start February's as well. And so anyway, that's just an idea of kind of how I went in the book. But I am going to go ahead and get these stuck down, and then we will start working on the different pages. I know you should have an index page, and what I will probably do for my index page is just simply leave, you know, a blank spot there for that. So anyway, we'll just see how it goes. This is really a challenge for me because it's something I haven't done before, and it's so different. But of course, it will be bullet journal Susie style, because. And so anyway, so let me get these stuck down, and we will start working on some of these pages. One other thing that I did do is I cut down a time card. I actually, because for me, I don't need Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't need all the days that I will be planning anything, because anything during the week, Monday through Thursday is 10 hours a day at work, and I'm not going to put anything else in that. So anything that I end up needing to write down to do will be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that is what I did in January. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I got the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, which is my Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's what I will be writing my task on, and things will be off those dates. So I did get these here. These I have printed off, and of course I shrunk them. But these here I actually printed off. I found them on Pinterest. If you will just do a search for free 2021 calendar printables, there will be all kinds of templates. You can kind of pick and choose what is your style. And so I chose this. I don't even know where I got these from. I'm sure I bookmarked it. I went ahead and printed out all my months because I will be using the same calendar. And so anyway, if I did bookmark that, I will put that link in the description box. So, but like I said, I already have all my little calendars cut out and made. And then my time card, I just saved this little piece here. I thought if I needed an extra place to write, I could have it. Or maybe even, bookmark-wise or something. I'm not sure. That I actually had done all that before I found this, so this will be some little extra writing space as well. So let me get these put in here, and we will start working on some of the pages for the bullet journal. Okay, so I've got my pages, my covers there, inside covers on. And I decided to add a little bit of just masking tape and put a little distress ink on it, and added some of the vintage looking tape. That's just something I wanted to do. Since it's my book anyway, I just thought it would be fun to add a little more, a little more vintage to it, a little more, I don't know, something there. So I added just some masking tape there, and I've got the little age tape on it. And so there are my, inside covers. Now, what I thought I would do with this is I want to spray. I got me a couple of spray bottles. This is just some coffee in that, some coffee tea blend. And I want to spray these pages before I actually start. So I'm just going to get a piece of, deli sheet there, and I'm going to go ahead and spray. I want to get that started. I'm just going to spray a little coffee on it, and that's what I'm going to do, and let that dry. I'm not going to take a blow dryer to anything. I'm just going to let it air dry. So I'm going to spray these pages and let them dry before I start. And it shouldn't take too awful long because, I don't know, it usually doesn't take too long to air dry. So I'm going to let them do that. I'm going to go ahead and spray my other few pages there, and let them get nice and dried as well. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to start on my index, and I'm going to start working on January's spread. Okay, so I have started getting my pages a little sprayed. So my first page, I made a mistake. I got a little too wet, and it did come out. So I know now what I need to do, and I thought I would share it with you just in case it's something that you are wanting to do. Is just get this a little stained. So what I have found is my best bet is just to take, now this is just cheap coffee from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm doing is just getting my cheap coffee, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on a little bit on the page. If you want to ramble it around a little bit, you can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of my coffee spray, which you could almost probably just take some water, but I want the coffee to be a little more defined. So I'm going to keep mine with the coffee spray. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of rub that in to give it a more stained look without adding all the liquid on there. That way my pages don't become loose and fall out. So anyway, that was just a tip. We're going to let this dry. I just found out you could not get your page so wet that it wants to tear out. So that one there, it just pulled out so easy. I could tell it was going to come out. So anyway, so I've just kind of changed the method now. It's got its stained look, you know, and without all the wet anyway. So this won't take long to dry at all. So once I get this dry, we will begin to get the index in and decorate the page. Okay, so I've got my pages dry. I'm going to kind of give them a nice little bend, because normally I iron my pages that are copy dyed. But oops, I see that that's a little loose there. I may put some of my age tape on it. Slide over here and get a little tape. I just usually keep some handy so that I always have it if I need it. I just get freezer paper and kind of just tear it in half, because freezer paper is so wide. And let's see, I think I'm gonna go sideways there. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just gonna put that there. Okay, so what I thought for this page here is I got kind of a partial sheet of paper, and I'm not sure I want to do an index, because I don't know that, you know, that I would need an index. So, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of put this here, and then it will cover over some of that cheesecloth-like binding that they used in the book. And if I wanted to write an index, I could, kind of over here. And anyway, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But I really don't think that I'm going to need an index. So, and mainly, like I said, mine will be just on the weekend that I do have things that I need to get done. Okay, so I want to glue, and I'm actually going to get some glue on that, a little bit of spine showing there. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this placed on here and get it where it needs to be, and then I'll kind of press it in the spine. That's what I will do. I'm going to grab this, this is an Arteza. Oh, look at Arteza's already rubbing off. An Arteza bone folder. Whoops. And it's kind of tearing into the spine even then, so that tells me I may have to get out my masking tape. That was kind of a little wide. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of like a little wide space actually where that went in. So I think that's going to require, which I don't mind the masking tape. For me, it's just extra dimension. So I'm actually going to, let's see. I'm actually just going to press it on there, like so. I want my book nice and vintage anyway, so that will work just fine. And I may just put a little piece here. Oops. I believe this is some vintage masking tape anyway. I think I picked it up at a sale. so it doesn't tear off as good as it should off of the roll. Okay, so I'm just going to add another little piece. So there's a little, kind of like a little space in between my tapes there. Okay, so I think that is going to be fine. Yeah, I think that will be fine. And then I want to add a little glue right there to catch that. All right. Yep. Okay. All right, so that's going to be good enough. Now, what I thought I would do for this, before I do my January page, I was thinking I wanted to add a few little photo corners, and these photo corners are just photo corners from Hobby Lobby. That's what they are. They're in the scrapbook department. And the way I do photo corners is I actually stick it on my photo first. Whoops. I just put a little glue there to hold the photo corner on. And I want to make sure that it looks nice and straight. These have a little bit of a sticky back, but I just want to make sure that my photo corners are on good and they're not crooked when I put them on. So I'm going to go ahead and get those put on. Okay. So there will be the photo corners there. And then what I'm going to do is alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of, this is that cardstock, and I want to just add that, I think, on there. And I'm going to go ahead and put glue. Even though that's sticky, I'm going to go ahead and set some glue on that anyway, on those photo corners. And it is going to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another row of stitching on this cardstock, I think. I think I'm going to give it a, whoops, I'm a little crooked on my page here. So, alright. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and what my plan is to do is just have kind of like a tab page here. That's my plan. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out. I'm going to sew around it, put a row of stitching around it, and then that is just going to be my intro to my journal. So that I think is what I'm going to do. Let's see. I see that I'm over, but I think it's just the page there, so I'm not going to. I was going to cut that a little bit, but okay. So let me get that done, and then we will start working on January spread. Okay, so I did get that sewed on, and I am going to put that in as a little pull out there. Okay, so I'm going to glue that kind of right there, and then I'll be working on getting in my January. So I'm just going to kind of try to center it a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, that's for sure. Nothing in this will be perfect because that is just not me. I love the sloppy and grungy, and so that is what my bullet journal will reflect. Okay, so that will just kind of flop here and there is what it'll do. And then if I need to write, like I said, if I decide to put an index here, I will have it here, and then if I need to write more, I can actually put it here. So, alright, so now I'm going to start on January. I love the way that looks. I absolutely love that. And since we're starting into January, that's just cute. Okay, so let's start on January. And what I plan to do is, I want to do a little bit of a collage for my January. So I grabbed some parchment paper, and this is like a tea bag, just a tea bag that has been dyed, or had the tea in it. And then I'm going to kind of I'm thinking something like that. And just kind of, yeah, that is kind of what I want to do. And I'm actually just going to keep January. I'm just going to keep the calendar on this page. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to add anything more. I just wanted the calendar to reference, of course, the days, even though my basic days are going to be my Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. Okay. Let's see, I think I wanted that a little under the tea bag. All right, and then I'm going to start sticking down my parchment paper here. All right, and I may end up adding a little Fabri-Tac to that if that won't stick that down real good. That may be where I've got my Fabri-Tac already over here. All right, now I'm going to get the calendar stuck down. I did just ink around the edges. I have printed this off on, of course, some coffee tea blend stained paper there. That's what I have done. And we're just gonna kind of do this. And I want to make sure it's, where it's kind of hidden from that, hidden under the little cover piece there. All right, and then if I should decide to come in with some doodles or something, which I just may, some little sewing strips or something, I may do that. So, okay, so I did make some little pieces. This is nice and dry now. I think I'm just going to add some little sewn strips here just for a little added touch. And that is really all that I am going to do on this spread here. That's going to be it. So, let me stick that down a little bit better, but I think that will be plenty. I don't want to overdo this. I want it to be really kind of simplified and just some fun collaging here and there. That's the way I want my journal to be. Whoops, yeah. And I'm just going to add them on each side, kind of like that. And I think that is going to be it for that.